Well, hello, Dr. M. My name is Andy Lopahs. I am here in Chaska, Minnesota. That's a southwest suburb of Minneapolis. Um, and this is my video recording of my unit implementation and the summary of student learning and basically how I think it went. I want to start off by saying that I've been teaching math the longest in my class, and this was a math unit that I was able to begin from start to finish for the first time. So it was a lot of learning, I guess. So it began with the pretest, and then I implemented the unit basically following the curriculum, and the curriculum was from the math expressions book. So I'm thinking, I can't go wrong. I'm just following a lot of the material that's available to me in the curriculum book. And one thing my cooperating teacher and I are really making sure is that everything we do is based on not just the Minnesota state standards, but then the school district standards, which might not always highlight everything. So pare it down, first grade, here's what they need to know for math. Okay. And then this unit in particular was about fractions. And it wasn't exactly first graders need to know this. So one of those nuances was, why is it important? Well, A, it's in the curriculum, but B, they need to know it. They need to understand what a half and a fourth is specifically, so that as they get into second grade and third grade, when it is an official standard, they have that foundation already in place. Because what they were finding is that they were getting to second and third grade and had no clue. And so they went back saying, okay, well, first grade, if you do it and do it well, there shouldn't be a problem. And then, of course, it's on standardized tests at that point, and it's better to cover it in first grade. So when I was planning this unit, again, I'm looking at this curriculum, lining it up with standards, going, okay. And I thought initially that my plan was great. Obviously, in reflection, I'm finding that my plan was very flawed, in that while I was focusing on those standards, I wasn't focusing on the end game, which was what's on the post-test. Make sure that we're covering that, even specifically to how they're asking the questions, so that the students aren't surprised, and then we're not surprised with the results by the time it comes. And along the way, I learned a lot about assessing during the unit to know, oh, they're not understanding what a half is. They're not understanding what a fourth is. So to go back and to reteach while we're in the unit. As I submit the post-test results in, I think it's week 9, you'll see that while there was improvement, it wasn't enough. There was only maybe 3 or 4 students that were deemed that they were at mastered level, that they had mastered that test. Everybody else was somewhere less than that, and that's not what we strive for. We strive for all students to have mastery of the skills. So overall, I felt like my lessons were good, but I didn't have enough. Like, for example, when it was time to teach a fourth and say this is what a fourth is, we've been doing half. Well, we start with doubles. Doubles. Okay, and they understood that a little bit. Half, and then you're showing them a lot of visuals, and then here are my toys. You and your friends, each make sure it's equal shares. You're paying fair. First graders are all about being fair. Split it in half, and I felt like they understood that because I was observing this. One thing that I failed to do, and this is in hindsight, is that the curriculum themselves didn't cover what was specifically asked on the test. So while we're covering, it didn't say, here are 8 objects, circle a fourth. That was never part of a lesson. However, it was part of some extra worksheets you could have worked in that I know now with my current unit. I am all about these worksheets, and I'm all about these extra assessments, so that I know what they're learning. What are they getting? Did they get this? We just taught this. 2 days ago, we talked about it. Here's the worksheet results. Oh, look, 50% of the students don't understand what a fourth is or a half is. So, okay, now we'll review. Or maybe I show them, here's your worksheet. Here's what we're looking for. One of my biggest things is that when we got the post-test back, and it was like, blew it. Now, I mean, big picture, the school year's not over. And, we can reteach and we can reassess and we can give them additional grades. But as far as that actual test, those scores were not good. And my cooperating teacher was not happy. But at the same time, I mean, I own it. I know exactly what I could have done differently. I'm implementing newer strategies of assessment and making sure that I'm focused on the proper things. For example, my current unit that I'm in now, I have standards and the post-test always on my brain. Is this lesson hit any of those? And as we go, making sure that our worksheets and other assessments are lined up properly so there's no surprise. So when we get there, I'm getting mastery from a majority of the students. And we have a diverse class. My kids that I have at their schools, they do flex groups. So, you're at grade level, you're going to hang out with all grade level kids for math. And so then the lesson is pretty even. You're a grade ahead. You're a first grader, but you're at a second grade math level. You're going to be over here with similar students. Well, we don't have that at the school where I am. I have 22 completely different learners for a whole group math, 20 minutes, and I'm supposed to hit all levels. And that's a challenge. And that's a challenge that I'm trying to embrace, and I'm trying to find engaging lessons that hold the interest of those who could be bored, and also those who are totally zoned out because they just don't care. One element that we do have available to us is the fact that we have small group implemented every day with our math centers. So if I deem necessary that, and these handful of students, whether it was worksheet or lack of understanding that they showed during large group, they didn't get it, they're not understanding, or I doubt that, I can draw them into a small group and we can work a little bit further, 4, 5, or 6 of them, and they do understand it, okay, and we can move on or continue to work so that they're not missed. And it is a challenge. It's a balancing act. I have about, I want to say 6 or 7 EL students that get pulled to go to their intervention teachers, and that's during math. So it's like I have to make sure that they're there at times. I have other students who are high flyers. 5 or 6 of them that are like second grade level. Well, we don't have anything for them other than I need to come to the table. What can I do to challenge them? So, anyway, back to this particular lesson. I'm reading my notes here on my computer. I'm still learning and I'm still struggling every day with coming up with more exciting ways to teach math to first graders. And in this particular unit that I'm referencing, I learned so much about how to assess. How am I doing? What I'm really grasping for is the ability to engage the students during those 20 minutes. My cooperating teacher's challenging me to engage, call upon, have them come up to the board, all of the students for a lesson. Well, that's 22 students, 20 minutes, and I'm thinking, on the average, I get half. And that's bad. I mean, it's like, who raised their hand? I'll call on them. To bring out those students who otherwise are disengaged, or don't think they know the answer. Maybe, do something to get them going. I think my height, I think I had about 18 students engaged I called upon or whatnot. So I'm struggling with how do I reach them consistently? So that's where I'm at now. But with the unit that I'm referencing in our assignment, I tried different strategies to say, I brought in my own toys, or toys for my kids, I should say. Okay, here's what we have. And so that visual was helpful. Other days we use a smart board, and I have the circle, the pie chart, and okay, here it's divided into half, it's equal, we have fourths. Word problems are huge, and try to get the students to understand just trying to keep it diverse. I want them to have their whiteboards as often as possible so they can write their own answers and put their own thoughts down if they are not oral with their answers, so they can write them down and I can see that they're writing and they're interacting that way. But being first grade, classroom management, my goodness, I have to stop half the time because they're doodling or they're not listening or not engaged. So stop what we're doing. Everyone needs to listen, you know. So that's a little frustrating on that. But the bottom line is, I feel like every day when I come to the table with my lessons, I'm prepared. I'm getting better at being better prepared. To be completely honest, I'm on spring break now. Last week was my last week that I worked overnights and then went straight to school all day because I'm working overnights to pay for school. Kind of a work-life balance, being an adult thing. But I could tell that I'm just not bringing all of me into the lessons because I'm just so dog tired. Well, moving forward now, I'm not going to have that because I am prioritizing my school. And on top of that, I haven't had the time to prepare. I've been kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I have 2 or 3 lessons at a time, and that's about it. And I'm playing catch up. Now, and I've been working with my cooperating teacher and my faculty supervisor to, okay, when do you want a week out? Let's get a week out. I would love to have 2 weeks out so I can be better prepared. When I'm better prepared, I feel more calm. I can bring an element to the table, that sort of a thing. So my perception will, I think, improve. I feel like I bring energy. I want to bring the right kind of energy. These are first graders. I don't necessarily need to entertain them, but I don't want to bore them to death. So I'm trying to figure that out. I want to connect with them on that level, and I want to bring that kind of structure to each lesson, which I feel like I do, and I've been following essentially what the cooperating teacher was doing and the curriculum. So it's not rocket science. I just need to make it a little easier for me. So anyway, so that is my reflection, long-winded, and I apologize. I know you have many of these to listen to, but I appreciate your support, Dr. M, and I appreciate any and all feedback. Like I say, I'm looking, and I'm struggling at times, looking for ways to just get better. And I know I'm getting better, and I struggle because I don't feel like my cooperating teacher sees that because her focus is to constantly push me to be better. And I feel like from the first day to now, I'm immensely better. This last unit that I referenced, wow, I dropped the ball on some things, but I've learned, and I'm hoping to continue to apply what I've learned so that I can show my improvement to you, to her, to all those. So anyway, thank you for your time, Dr. M, and I look forward to connecting with you through the forums and these assignments for the last 6 weeks or so. Take care.